I'm Jonathan Gurwitz, partner with KGB Texas Communications, and welcome to thePoint. Today we're visiting with Randy Smith, CEO of Weston Urban. Randy, welcome.
Thank you, Jonathan. What a treat.
Randy, you're the CEO, co-founder of Weston Urban from the beginning. You have been focused on downtown San Antonio, on the urban core. Why that focus?
You know, for us, I think it starts with this simple belief that great cities have great downtowns. I grew up in Dallas, which at the time did not have a great downtown, and was not in a spot I did not travel very much as a young person. And then I found myself at this magical place called Rackspace and got to travel the globe in that regard, and a lot of times with Graham. And it just becomes clear as you get out and you see other places that great cities have great downtowns.
Today we're in a building that houses the UTSA School of Data Science, beautiful new building on the west side of downtown. What does this mean? What does that investment mean? What does what UTSA is doing downtown mean for that vision?
Well, I think about that from sort of two perspectives. The first is a very practical perspective. UTSA does a lot of things well. The one thing in my estimation that they do exceedingly well is data science. Every company is in a battle for talent around this issue, around data, what we do with it, how we use it responsibly, and how we keep it in the right hands. This school and this presence and UTSA's commitment to excellence here sends a message to all of those companies and all of that talent that in this battle for talent, the road to victory now goes through downtown San Antonio.
Yep.
And that is a huge thing for our community.
Yeah.
The second way I kind of think about it is more symbolic. And we're a small company. We rely on partners to do everything. We rely on partners to do everything. And the best way to size up your partner is to consider what I call their say-do ratio. It's super simple. Like, what percent of what you say do you do? And Dr. Amy is one of those exceedingly rare individuals that ratio is 100%. And that commitment to downtown and our urban core is also very symbolic. It says to the rest of our community that this is important because as we look around our community, we have a lot of challenges to face, and most of those challenges are at least partially addressed by UTSA.
I was here for the grand opening in January, and Graham Weston had a great line that you just referenced. He said, the future of data science runs through downtown San Antonio. You know, one of the great things about this school and this program is how it will diversify and create more diversity and opportunity in the field of data science. Really exciting, what's being done here. Downtown San Antonio, you know, the last 3 years, a lot has changed globally. You know, work patterns have shifted. You still bullish on the idea of people living and working in the urban core?
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a rough few years. Within a half mile of Frost Tower, there's over $3.5 billion worth of construction going on, and that's a lot for anywhere to take in. When you have a uniquely dense urban core like ours, and by dense I mean our road grid, it can create a lot of challenges. So the way I come to think of it, and I have a 13-year-old, is downtown's kind of going through puberty right now. Like, it's really awkward. You can't really tell what it's going to be yet, but all the potential is in there. You know, $3.5 billion in our little downtown is going to go a long way. And I believe when a lot of this construction wraps up, San Antonians are going to be shocked at what they find down here. To me, the enemy of downtowns is homogeny. And right now, that's a unique challenge for us downtown. We lack diversity in almost every way that matters. But the one that stands out to me the most is not just diversity of use. Look, we need more people living downtown,
right?
But really like diversity of schedule. I mean, there are hours of the day where you can just feel the energy and the pulse and the heartbeat of San Antonio down here. And then, on a Tuesday night at 9 p.m., you're just not going to feel that right now.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the things that we're doing, the areas where we're investing, and the university is a huge part of that, is to help round out that diversity of use, clearly, but really diversity of schedule. And when our downtown has a more diverse schedule of uses, then everybody benefits from that.
In your spare time, you're the chair of Greater SATX, the former San Antonio Economic Development Foundation. And when you went through that rebrand, you also changed your emphasis to regional economic development. So why that focus on the region, the expansion to the region, and how is that going?
I do believe it was something of an existential issue for our economic development efforts. For years, as a community, we had sort of backslid into not being very good teammates. So there was this illusion that San Antonio was in some way competing with Selma, and Schertz was competing with Universal City, and Bernie was competing with Castroville, and we were trying to compete that way outward. And the reality is that those lines on the maps don't matter to employers. When we were not speaking with one voice out into the marketplace, you will never be competitive.
Right.
Ever. And this is well-established economic development truth, is if you're not competing regionally, you're just not competing. And so this shift to competing as an 8-county region was, I believe, an existential thing. Like we were going to fail completely if we did not make this shift. And one of the silver linings of COVID, of the pandemic, was that gave us a moment to stop and really lean in on building trust with our regional partners. Because when you've been competing with someone for so many years, you can't just turn that on a dime. And I'm proud to say that today, we have 14 regional partners from our 7 surrounding counties that have signed on to our effort, and it's going exceedingly well.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How important is it to have that vibrant downtown with diversity of activity, diversity of schedule, to attract talent, to attract those companies to come to the San Antonio region?
I think it's necessary. I like to draw the distinction between necessity and sufficiency. So we need more than a great downtown, but you have to have it.
Yeah.
You cannot have a hollowed out core and expect to provide the quality of life that most folks think of when they think about a great city. And talent is going to go to great cities more today than ever. Talent is a little bit unhinged from real estate. And I should be clear about what the goal is. I mean, the goal is economic mobility for our entire community, for the entire region. And we have a long way to go there. But when we talk about creating jobs, the things that we will measure are not just quantity, it's quality, and it's really career pathways.
Right.
I'm proud of so many things about our city. I wouldn't raise my family anywhere else, but there's one thing that none of us should be proud of, and that's our poverty rate.
Right.
And that is a crisis that can be partially answered with good economic development. And so those jobs that we're seeking to attract and retain and grow, the first lens really is economic mobility for our citizens. If we're not creating that, then we're wasting our time.
You're also part of an investor group that bought the San Antonio Missions, our minor league baseball team. And there's talk about a potential new venue in or near downtown San Antonio. What might that mean for downtown to have a ballpark?
So first and foremost, the acquisition of the team was about keeping baseball in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Baseball, whether you're a real sports fan or not, provides this approachable, accessible level of family entertainment that we think is a necessary ingredient for our community. If something wasn't done, we were going to lose that as a community. So that was kind of step number one, is why buy the team? And the answer was to keep it here. The current stadium was sort of the last of an era. And well documented that it does not, meet Major League Baseball standards for minor league facilities. And so as we begin to look at that and bake a real plan one of the things that we hold true is that this place should be centrally located, where the vast majority of our citizens can get to them easily.
Well, Randy, thanks for all you do in our community, for literally changing the skyline of San Antonio.
Well,
And
thank you. I hope you'll come to a game. I'll buy you a beer.
I will definitely be
All right.
there. Thanks very much.
Yes, sir. It'll be cold.
And thank you for joining us on The Point.